Hi, it's Jen. Today I wanted to share with you a review of the Everyday Organized Traveler's Notebook by plannerperfect.com. And her name is Jenny Payton. And I had gotten this back at the American Thanksgiving. My in-laws give us money for Christmas, and they give it to us then, so that way we can get the deals when they happen. And so I've had my eye on this for a while, and so I waited, and I got it at a 20% off discount, so which was, I think, is really good. And so just keep your eye open for deals even right now for New Year's, and yeah, you might get it on at a good price. So I have criterias when for my traveler's notebook. I have been using them for years and years and years now. And my first one I ever got was the name brand Midori. Just the plain brown one. And it has a rounded spine to it because it's just a rectangle piece of leather and then it just rounds. And that has been working for me, and it's still in really good shape. But I really like the idea of having a flat book-like spine. And so as soon as I saw that Jenny's did, I really wanted to investigate it and get one. And so that was one of the things that I was looking for as well. And then another thing that I thought was really neat is, because I'm always searching for paper to jot something down, is that in the back of her Everyday Organized Traveler's Notebooks, she has many different colors. There's a pad of paper there. And so, and I love this. I use this feature every single day, multiple times a day. And because before I'd be using my books and putting things, information in where it didn't belong and just jotting things down, and then I would have to go and search it out and try to find it. And so I absolutely love that feature. And because sometimes I forget to bring sticky notes, and sometimes when I'm out and about I don't have my sticky notes with me. Because one thing that I've noticed, you'll notice in my traveler's notebook, I don't put a lot of stuff in there because I think nothing frustrates me more when I'm out at a store and things fall out when I try to open up a book. And so I try to keep it as plain as I can because I don't like that happening. So anyway, sorry, I went down a rabbit trail. So those are the few things that I really wanted interest me in her traveler's notebook. And then I also wanted to get a traveler's notebook that had a pen loop, because in the Midori it doesn't have a pen loop. You can put one in your book, but I really wanted to try a pen loop, and so this one has one. And so I just wanted to give you my thoughts on using this. I've been using this every day for over a month, and so I just wanted to share with you, for those that haven't seen, I believe it's the Anastasia. It's the Anastasia. I don't know if I said that wrong last time, but it's the Anastasia, and it's the Everyday Organized Traveler's Notebook. And now I was looking at a different color, and they're always sold out, and of the colors that I was interested in. And so when I saw her, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give this a try, and it's beautiful. It's the color is just amazing. Now, if you look at mine, you can see that she scratches up pretty easy. If you work at it, I'm sure you could get some of these out. I don't really bother because it doesn't bother me, really. Being a junk journaler, that kind of thing doesn't bother me. I want to be able to use what I have. And so she's getting a little wear and tear, but it makes her even more beautiful. And so the spine, I've been loving this one. If you're ever on the fence to get a traveler's notebook cover with a flat spine, hands down, I would say get it. Going from a rounded spine to a flat spine, absolutely a dream. I don't think I'm going to ever go back. And then I really like how she puts her elastic in it too, because it crisscrosses. And I just love that feature. So I really like that. Now, something that I noticed on her website and when she does her videos, there was, in her stitching, there was always darker spots. And I've always wondered, and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to bother me. I'm not sure why that is. But I figured out why, if you look at any of her books, and if you ever wondered that yourself, what it is whoever makes them, they do a back stitch wherever they're attaching any layers. Because if you go all around, even down here, even right here in the spine, it's not all around, but anytime you see something that is darker, like a brighter white, that's just where they back stitched, where they attached different things inside. So the front is the pocket, and to be honest with you, I really like this pocket. Nothing has fallen out when I've been out shopping. I prefer this type of pocket in mine. I know she has an out and about. She does have two different styles. She has the out and about traveler's notebook, and then she has the out and about wallet. And it has grommets on it where it has a crossbody strap as well. But this is the type of pocket I enjoy. And then on the back, you've already seen, she gives you a pad of paper, not this pad of paper, but a pad of paper, and then there's a pocket right here. And so this is the one I was most interested in. But I just wanted to, for people who are wondering why the darker stitches, that's why. It's just wherever she attaches a pocket, or just to give it extra strength. So I have been loving the slip pocket here, and then there's a pocket right in front of it. Now, she does do this is one of her books, her paintings. I just loved it. And she does do what's called the hidden knot for the elastics, and what it is just an extra flap of leather, and then the knots are underneath it on the bottom and on the top. What I'll say about that is I do like that feature, but there's something that I don't like about it. It does chew the back of the spines of your notebooks. So I got this notebook from her because I got it at a discount, and I just think her painting is so beautiful. But inside what I did, I haven't started yet, but I got the recipe one where you write your favorite recipes and then you journal about it and share pictures. And you can stick your pictures on it too. And I really like that idea because for my daughter, I'm going to give this to her eventually. And I'm also doing a digital copy as well. But I thought this would be a nice keepsake for her. Anyway, sorry. It's just that extra flap down here that hides the knots to the elastic, this right here is chewing, I don't know if you see this, but it's chewing up at the bottom and at the top of my books. It's wearing it down. That's something I don't like. So I don't know if, I always thought that it would just be when I first started using it, it was this book, and I was like getting upset because I'm like, oh, this is supposed to be a gift eventually. And then it's just my other books were getting it, like on the ends. But even my middle books are getting it too. So that's one thing I don't like about it. It's not a big deal, but for books that you're not going to use again and then you're just going to recycle them, that's not a big deal. It's just the books that I'm keeping, like for journaling, like my junk journal, this journal. So that's one thing that I don't like about it. So keep in mind, it's not a big deal. I can always put material on the spines of the ones I make myself. But they have, I think what they need to do, honestly, they need to have maybe have this piece of leather a little bit longer so that your books don't rub up against it. So they have to fix that. That's one thing that they do got to fix. And then, so the back of your book has this pocket for a notepad. Now, I don't have it with me. I didn't bring it down, but she gives you a notepad. Oh, I forgot it. What it is just, I'll put in a picture right here, and it is 8 by 4 3/4. That's the size of it. And she has her pretty logo on it, and it is 24 pound paper. I did make a note here about it. So there's 25 pages. It's perforated, so you can easily rip it off. And it's 24-pound paper. Now, she gives you one of these, of hers, when you buy her traveler's notebook, her everyday organized traveler's notebook. But then to refill it, they are $5.50 US. And then I try to put one in my cart today online and took it to the very end, like I was going to buy it, and they're going to charge $6 for shipping. Now, before I start saying anything, I think the paper is nice. I think it's good quality. I like her logo. I like how she designed it. There's nothing wrong with it. My only thing is the price. And I know she needs to get them made, and I understand all that, but for me as a Canadian, I looked it up, and what it would cost me to buy one of her notepads, so it's $5.50 US plus $6 shipping, that equaled $11.50 US. Then for me, exchange it into Canadian funds, it was going to cost $14.92. For a book that only had 25 pages, yeah, that was going to be a little bit, but that's not the end of my cost, because I get it shipped to a post office in the States, and every time you get a package, they bumped it down to $5. So that's just the cost of the notebook from the store, and then I would have to pay another $5 fine, like, to get it across in the States. And so for me to get a book, a little notepad with 25 pages, is going to cost me $19.92. And see, I looked at all of this before I even purchased it, because I really, really like this feature. Because I always stuck a long notebook inside my Midori's, something like this. Like from a dollar store, I would always stick something like this in the back. But my problem that I would run across is these fall out. And they fall out at the most inopportune times. And so I really that's why I needed to find something different, right? So that's why I really like this feature. But then when I started looking in at the cost to buy hers, I mean, she makes it so easy for you. She provides them in the wide and in the B6, because those are the two sizes that she has right now in the everyday organized traveler's notebooks. And so, I mean, she makes it so easy for you, and it is really nice paper. But to be honest with you, I'm not willing to pay $19, well, almost $20 for a 25 pieces of paper. So as I was looking into it, I came across the Amazon Basics, and this is Amazon.ca. Now, you can find these on Amazon.com, and they're $6.99 for a 12-pack. So you're going to get 12 notebooks, and the notebooks have 50 sheets of paper. And that will and the asking price is $6.99. That's without tax and shipping. Now, if you're a Prime member, it will be free shipping. So just so you know, but my cost as a Canadian for 12 of these books that each have 50 sheets of paper, it cost me $10.99 plus free shipping, and that's before taxes too. So I think that's pretty good, because this is a whole lot cheaper, even with just taxes. It's not going to be that much, but it's a whole lot cheaper than spending $19 on just one pad. And so I looked it up, and then I tried to figure it out where if I buy multiples, so these books, there's 12 of them. There's 50 pages in each. So I thought, how much would it cost me if I buy Jenny's that have 25 pieces of paper for $5.50 each. I would need 24 of them to equal how much paper I get with the Amazon Basic ones. And that will cost me $132 US. That's no taxes so far. And then Canadian, it'd be $171.25, and that's before taxes. So, and shipping. And so my best bet was to get these Amazon Basics notepads. Her notepads, as you will see in the picture, her notepads are blank papers. There's no lines on them. That doesn't really bother me. To be honest, I kind of like lines sometimes. And so that doesn't bother me at all. Not having that. So, and then her paper is nice. It is 24 pounds. And this paper from Amazon Basics is 16 pounds. It is perforated. There's 50 sheets. And the only thing I had to do was cut a 1/4 inch off the whole pad. And I used my rotary cutter and a ruler. And it worked like a dream. I don't think you could tell which side I cut. And it fits perfectly. So the size of the Amazon Basics, it's 5 inches by 8 inches. I cut a 1/4 inch off, and it stuck really nice into the back of this book. So, and the reason why I say all that is because if you're looking into it, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Again, I think her artwork is amazing. The paper's nice, but for me, being in Canada, it doesn't warrant me to spend $20 on 25 sheets of paper. Now, the pen that I use right now is a Sharpie pen. This year, my goal is to use stuff that I have up, and so right now I came across this, and I really like how it writes. And so I tried the Sharpie pen on the Amazon Basic paper and on Jenny's paper, and there is bleed through. Just on Jenny's paper, there's a little bit of bleed through, and then on this, I wanted to keep this on to show you that it perforates and it comes off really nicely. And then I was just going to show you the bleed through. There is a little bit, but that doesn't bother me. Now, if you use a specialty pen that you want thicker paper, maybe you need to look into that, and maybe use Jenny's because it's a 24 pound. But when I used a regular red pen on Jenny's paper, there was bleed through still. So, although her books are super nice, for me, I'm just not willing to pay $20 for one notebook. In the States, it'll be less because you're using American money, of course. But for me, for those that live in Canada and elsewhere, I think it would be cheaper for you to get Amazon Basics. And then I was thinking, well, what if I made one on my own? And so that's what I did. And because I'm thinking, even $10.99, okay, because I'm a junk journaler, we have tons of paper. And so I'm thinking, surely I can make something myself. And so I wanted to show you, I wanted to use blank paper because Jenny's notebooks are blank paper. And these come out really nice. And it does have a cardboard on the back as well. I've had no problems with these. And just to let you know, what I plan to do is to have these on hand, because I don't know about you, but sometimes you just, you have plans to make things and then life gets busy and you just need to grab something. And so I did buy one package of these of 12. And so my goal is to use my homemade, and then when I'm in a hurry, I'll grab one of these books whenever I finish them. And so I did make myself a book, and I'll show you. And because I'm a junk journaler, I have to make it junky. Now, I wanted to share the paper that I used. I got at a thrift store, and when I end my videos and I say, don't throw away your junk, journal with it. I do that myself. I had gone to a thrift store and I got a big package of paper, and some of the paper was binder paper, and it was blank. And so that's what I used to make this notebook. I just used 25 sheets so I could show you the thickness of, so it's like Jenny's. And then what I did was I just junked it up as a typical junk journaler, and all I did was I cut the paper sorry. I cut the paper lengthways, and so I got 2 sheets of paper for each 8.5 by 11 sheets. And so you only need about 12 sheets, 12.5 sheets of paper to get the full 25, but I'm sure you could make it larger. And then what I did is I just used a bag from a stack of paper, and then I sewed the paper right on. I just used my sewing machine, and yes, it got crooked, but I sewed it right on. And what I would just say is go slow. First of all, if you're going to use your sewing machine, use it at your own risk, but go slow. I went really slow, and I kept my hand on the round part of the sewing machine on the right hand side, just to guide the needle going in and out. And then I went slow, and I had no problem. And the needle that I'm using is for denim, and so I had no problem, nothing broke, so it went through just fine. And so when I use it, I can just sit and write on it. And I didn't tea dye any of this as a junk journaler because I didn't want to, tea dyeing takes a long time, and so I didn't want to take that time with paper that I'm just going to quickly write a list, rip it off, hand it to my husband or to my daughter as I go shopping, and or for myself, and then it just gets recycled. So I thought I'd just keep it white, and I would junk it up at the top. And so that's what I did. And so I just took a piece of flannel and that I got that. I reused that as well. And then I just made myself a tassel, a flat tassel, and there we go. And I will put it in the book to show you how it went. And so there's 25 pieces of paper here. The only thing that I would say, obviously it's not perforated. I do have a perforator, well, my husband does, and I'm not going to bother. Ripping it off won't be hard. And there we go. And she fits right, and I'm going to keep this in here actually because I think it looks cute. And there we go. And so if you want to make your own, I think that's great. Just use whatever paper you want. You can tea dye it. You can just whatever you have. Lined paper. I think it would turn out really, really nice. Whichever you decide to go. And so when I did sew this on, I did keep the ties because I do like that look for myself. And then there we go. And so I'm eager to try making my own notebooks for my my planner. I think it will help with costs. I know I got that big stack of paper from the thrift store for $2, and so I was able to make, this is just one of the pads of paper I can make. And so I know I can make a lot of pads of paper with spending no money at all. And so I would encourage you, when you buy yourself a traveler's notebook, it doesn't matter who makes it. Just make sure you look into every thing before you purchase it, because there may be a cost that you know, you might not be able to do. My overall review of this traveler's notebook is I like it. I think she did a great job making it. The design is amazing. I like the leather. I don't know if you can see, but this is her logo. I love that on there. So if somebody asked me if there's something that I just really, really don't like about it, to pick it apart, I would say the only thing, if I really had to pick something, I like it. But if I had to choose something I didn't like, it would have to be this. How it chews the bottoms and the tops of my books. That's the only thing. I like it that the elastic is hidden, but I think something needs to happen so it doesn't rip apart our spines. So that's the only thing, if I really had to choose. But other than that, I really like this Traveler's Notebook. I thought it was thought out well. I thought it was well made. I really like this feature. I thought she was so smart to get this feature on a Traveler's Notebook. I absolutely love it. I use it every day. So if you're, and then that way I don't have to worry about my books as well. And I love this feature. So the only thing personally, next time, I don't prefer a pen loop. Being a Traveler's Notebook enthusiast, I've tried it with and without, and I prefer it without. And so I'm hoping that in the new year, she had said that she's making new books. I hope she makes some without. It's not a deal breaker for me. I like it. There's nothing wrong with it. If you want to know my reasoning, it's just that it doesn't really move over so you can kind of hide it. It's stuck there. And so when you put your elastic on it, it just makes it even wider. So if you put it in a purse or what have you, it gets in the way for me personally. But I absolutely love it. So I think if I had to choose stuff, that's not a design flaw. That's just my preference, right? So, so the only thing I would have to say that I don't like about it is that the spine chews my books. So that has to get looked at. But other than that, I think it's a beautiful book. I would suggest and recommend anybody going and buying from her. Their customer service is unbelievable. I had problems getting my book, and they worked with me, and I so appreciated that. They were very kind and patient, and I can't say enough about them. They have amazing customer service. And so if you're on the fence buying a Traveler's Notebook from her, I would say 100% yes. Go get yourself one and try it. You'll love it. And as if you didn't know, she says she's bringing out some new ones in the new year. So that's something to watch out for. And so before I end this video, I know I haven't been on here for a while. I do want to mention that. Like all of us, we're busy. I really respect those ladies that do videos and take care of all their stuff as well. And so I just got super busy. Didn't get myself a chance to get in here and do anything. But I wanted to quickly show you, since I did my review already, how I made my flat tassel. And what I'll show you, how I attached it, is by a safety pin. And I don't think I'll take it off because I really like it on there. But I will show you how I made it. So, now these can be made using safety pins. I don't know if you saw my material pockets that I have made. And basically they look like this. What I do is I like to use bias tape, vintage rickrack, vintage laces, materials, and what have you. And I like to make pockets. Well, I use the same sort of things to make my flat tassel. And what I mean about flat is I'm going to put my journal in here again, my Traveler's Notebook. And when I close this, this is pretty flat. If you can see right in here, this is where that tassel is, and it's flat. And so I use these for my junk journals as well. And why I like these is because I love using ribbons and laces and bias tapes. I don't know what it is, it just makes me happy. When I see them, it just brings a smile to my face. And so and like vintage rickrack. Oh, this is vintage rickrack that I'm using right here. So beautiful. And I like it because you can get this messy and it still looks really cute. And so, and that way you can have something pretty pinned to your material, and it's not going to ruin any of your pages. And so, yeah, that's why I like using safety pins, is because you can clip them anywhere in your junk journal and you're good. So how I did that is I'm going to use a bigger safety pin so you can see, because I know my fingers get in the way. So all I did is I just did a layer, and so all I did is I try to do that. I try to make one tail longer than the other. And then I like using my thicker things first, so that way you can add a nice layers. And then maybe get this one long so you can see the tail. And you just gotta kind of play with it. It is fiddly. And you just it takes patience just to play with it. But once you get it done, it looks really cute. And then I have this rickrack. It's vintage. It's nice and white. Oh, it's just gorgeous to me. And then you just layer whatever you want. I like to see different things in my tassels. I like to see my bias tapes. I like to see the rickracks, and this bias tape looked like a candy cane. Absolutely love this thing. And I like to put jute in it as well. It just brings like a natural element to it. The material that I used was muslin, and it was tea dyed. And then if you want to put ribbons in there, you can. But I chose to leave my ribbon out. And then all that I did is I took a sewing clip and just held it. So once I had everything the way I wanted, and then I took it over to my sewing machine and I just sewed it. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this before. You're attaching all of your laces and your materials on the side where it has the closure of the safety pin. You want to keep this side open because you're going to attach it to fabric or to lace or what have you. So you want to attach your fabrics, laces, jutes, what have you, where the closure is of your safety pin. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put it in your sewing machine and sew as close as you can to the side here. Now, I sewed it a few times so that way it would be, you know, the junk journal style, just doing, you know how you sew, keep on sewing it. It's kind of like that messy look. That's what I did. And so I just did it a few times. And then what I don't know if you noticed, is I kept the tails, when I sewed, I kept them to go into the tassel, because I thought it just added something else, right? And then what I did, once I got this all sewed, I clipped it to my material, I shut it, and then it hangs down. So this, wherever you attach it, it's going to hang down. And then what I did is I took my ribbon, I fed it through that circle on the edge, not the edge, the end, and then I tied a bow. That's where I tied my bow. Right here, you could put charms, you could put whatever you want. You could put a tag there. I think that a tag would look really cute there. It would just add to that junk journal vibe. A tag hanging from here would be adorable. And so I like to use these on my journal pages because they are flat. They don't take up a lot of space, and they just bring that happy element to a junk journal. And so now how I came up with this was, what I would do with my own junk journals is I would do a tassel on the top of a page. Do you know how we like to put material and do flip-ups? Well, I like to do tassel flip-ups. And I do it one of two ways. You can do it so you have a tassel on both sides of your paper. And that looks really, really cute. And you can use many different, sorry, I'm probably out of camera. You can use many different laces and ribbons and what have you. Here's another ribbon that's off-white. You can use that. You can use whatever you want. And I'd say spread them out, but at the top, keep them together. Obviously, it would be a lot cuter than that. And then just sew it at the top. That way, you have one on either side. But if you don't prefer that, you want it even flatter, you can just do one on the one page and just do it that way. And then that way, you can just what I would suggest doing is cutting your laces and your fabrics and all that type of and all that goodness all when they're attached to your paper, so you can get yourself a good a length, and then just sew it at the top, and then you got yourself, and you can even cut them off up here, or you can hang them out the top of your journal, and then you have, and then before they journal, they can flip up and journal. So you can do the tassels just on one side of your paper or on both. One of my favorite ways is, like I showed you, is I like to do them flat on a safety pin. And I don't know if I mentioned it already, I don't remember, but my safety pins are all rusted first. I was just going to quickly show you. I have a container of safety pins that I have rusted. I purchased this box of safety pins at the dollar store. I took time to rust them one day, and now I have a lot to work with. And so, yeah, the size that I used for the one I did is that size for this one here. And so that is how I made myself a flat tassel for right here. I wanted a little bit more decoration for my notepad, and so I thought, you know, I haven't made myself a flat tassel in a while, and I don't remember if I showed it with you folks yet, and so that is how I make my flat tassel. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I haven't done one in a while, but I hope there's something that you can glean from it, and I hope everybody has a really great New Year's, and just be safe and take care. And don't forget, let's not throw away our junk. Let's journal with it. Take care, guys.